Hi again, everybody. I'm Charles Mead. I'm the Director of Marketing and Public Relations for the Capital Area Council of the Boy Scouts. Pleased to be joined today by our Council Key 3 leadership, John Yates, our Scout Executive, Anuj Thakrar, our Council's President, and Kuravil Mani, our Council Commissioner. And today we wanted to talk a little bit about, we're approaching the end of the year here in 2023, and all of the things that we have reflected on in the past year. And it's been no secret that the last couple of years, just in general, have been lousy for folks coming out of the pandemic. Scouting has had a few challenges as well, but when we look at what we have done here in Central Texas with Scouting, and Anuj, I'll start with you. Are there particular activities, accomplishments, things that you, as completing your first year here as Council President, are particularly proud of?
Well, absolutely. I am really proud of what we have envisioned at the beginning of last year for our strategic plan and how we've executed that strategic plan. Primarily, one of the things we were looking at was increasing our person power within our council and within our districts. We were looking for ways to, one, stave off vacancies before they actually occurred. Two, recruit the right type of people for the right type of job in scouting. And three, better recognize our donors, our chartered organizations, and our volunteers. I think we did a really good job of doing those three things and increasing our manpower in scouting as a whole this year. Another big item that we were looking at was creating more units in our council. We had a very lofty goal. And although we didn't meet that goal, we did better than what I expected we would do in terms of creating new units in underserved communities, new girl troops. I'm very proud of what's been accomplished last year and this year, excuse me.
Kerville, how about you? Since you working with our unit commissioners and all the rest of the units, probably more on a day-to-day basis, what have you seen over the years?
So I would take a step down, which is we've done a lot of great stuff on the council level and all the district level, but to me, where we shine is again our unit leaders, because they're the ones on the front line, and they have brought the program back. Our Cub Scouts are growing again, which means our den leaders and our Cub leaders are doing a great job. So I go back to our unit leaders, who are the heart of our organization.
Now, John, I know you've got a few things in mind. When I think of the past year, in particular, I think of some of the really outstanding programs that have happened. We had obviously a full summer camp and got some very good marks from participants there. The first of what's going to be two spectacular Eclipse events we were able to pull off. Those are some of the things that come to my mind. I don't know if you're thinking the same thing, or if there's other things that when you look back on the year, you say those are things that I really am feeling good about.
I do feel like getting through the fog of COVID and all of that past, and our camps truly now are hitting a marathon run. It's great to get out there on a Saturday and see the activities that are going on. The STEM weekend with the Eclipse this last month had 850 scouts and leaders on the Lost Pines property. And you could just feel that activity. Another proud point I have is from the council, unit, and national level, the real focus on youth and adult safety. We had a very lofty goal, just like units, on our youth protection training statistic. We wanted to be as close to 100% as possible. Last year we ended about 89%. We're currently at about 96%, so we're not quite where that lofty goal of almost 100%, but we're close. And you can just sense that the entire movement at all levels of the organization are really focused on the right things.
So 2023, we've reflected on a little bit, and now we're getting ready to turn the calendar to 2024. Are there, and I'll start back with you, Anuj, are there particular things that, as you look over either things that we know that are on the calendar right now, or maybe we're trying to get together, are there things in particular that you're looking forward to as we get into the new year?
Absolutely. We're approaching next year's strategic plan a little differently than we've done in the past. It's a plan for next year and beyond, and you'll hear more about that during this session. But One of the things that I'm really excited about is how we're going to improve our properties, our council properties this coming year and in the years leading up to 2030. I had the real great pleasure of touring 5 of our 7 properties this year with Curavilla and our past council president, Jack Gimler. And just these are properties that I didn't know about. And I know that others don't know about in our council.
Right.
And beautiful, beautiful pieces of land that are being underutilized. And so we are setting up a working group of folks in the council, volunteers and professionals that are going to examine these properties and report back and tell us what are the things we need to do to make these properties more usable for the council and for the scouts in our council.
So just before I get to Curavilla, I think that is an important thing that folks, we can at least give them a little bit of an idea. Some of those properties improvements, obviously there's work that will begin fairly shortly related to new shooting sports facilities there at both Camp Green-Dixon as well as Lost Pines. A few other things that we're trying to do in respect to the properties as well.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the concept is, I'll name off 2 properties, Roy D. Rivers and Alma McHenry. 2 properties that I got to visit this summer. I just was really so impressed by the parcels of land that we own and manage. And I saw that they're not being utilized the way I think they should be, especially by units in our council. And I think part of the reason is a lot of units don't know about them. Roy D. Rivers, I mean, it's a wilderness campsite. It's a place where as a scout, I would have liked to have been. And I know there's other scouts, especially my son's unit, that would like to visit that campsite too. Some exciting things going on in our council camps. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what the committee reports back.
Sure. Our Smiling V Scout Ranch, PAX, we want you to go camp there. So that's a quick note there. Curavilla, looking ahead to 2024, what excites you?
Well, you just hit the Smiling V. I'm excited for the total eclipse. We kind of had a first run with the annular eclipse, but the total eclipse, I mean, there won't be another one for another 400 years in Central Texas. So this is the time to go.
Right.
And I see that as being a spring point to get the people who attend more interested in our STEAM programs, and then kind of building on to summer camp, day camp, tech lab, all of those things in there. So we'll have a group of people there, a large number hopefully, that we can spring off of that for the rest of the year.
Excellent. John, how about you when you look ahead for this year? What excites you?
I am excited about this strategic plan that we've launched to get us to 2030. We've got 5 major categories that we feel like we can really bear down on and focus. We don't want to try to solve all of everything. We want to be very laser focused on where we're trying to head. All of the groups that we've put together, we've challenged to help us again focus on youth and adult safety as a part of their deliberations. But we're going to have strategic plan efforts on our membership and unit service, on our older youth programs, on our Cub outdoor programs, on our properties, as Anuj alluded to, and on the development side to figure out how we can pay for all of these dreams that we're going to be coming up with. But I'm excited about the progress we've made so far on those, and I'm looking forward to getting that vision of where we want to be at 2030 and surrounding volunteers around some of those real big rock problems and getting some great solutions.
So we talked off camera beforehand a little bit about it's okay to be happy and to celebrate success. And I think we've certainly done some of that. Just briefly touching though, in Anuj, as board president, you've had a front row seat to some of these things, but the challenges that are there, both the ones that have been overcome through the last year and that we still face going into the next year, what are maybe 1 or 2 of those that you wish that more of our members, our supporters, maybe knew a little bit more about, so that maybe it strikes ideas that they can share with us and help us maybe meet those challenges?
Well, I think it's a foregone conclusion that membership really solves all of our problems. If we can increase our membership, and part of the strategic plan for 2024 and up through 2030 is what are the things we can do in these 5 areas that John just talked about to increase membership by 10%? Is it 10% every year, 10% every 2 years? But we want to see an uptick in membership. This summer I received a note from National, and we talked about this at our ribeye dinners and at Lost Pines with a group of campers, adult campers that were there, that Scouting has seen an uptick in membership, growth in membership for the first time since 1999.
Right.
That's the first time in 24 years we've seen a growth in membership, which is pretty incredible. I think that's something we should celebrate, but we shouldn't be happy with that. We should be building upon that. We're trying to do that here in our council. We're trying to build upon growth. I think these 5 areas are really, they're interrelated with one another for purposes of growth. So one thing I want parents and scouts in our council to think about all the time is recruitment. How can we recruit not just adult volunteers, but new scouts into our program? How can we maintain Cub Scouts to cross over into the Boy Scout program? A lot of our problems, I think, either whether they're financial, through development, programming, whatever it might be, can be solved through membership.
Kerrville, how about you?
So I would love to grow the membership, but we can't execute on the membership without more adult volunteers. Our program is volunteer run, and we're going to need those parents who, we know they're busy. We know they have 1 or 2 jobs, that both of them are employed, but this is a program that is built on interaction with you and the youth, and the ability to provide them the path to grow into young men, young women. And so we're going to need more volunteers to come in to help them, and then we're going to have to get them trained, and we're going to have to get them involved, and that's going to be a never-ending process.
No doubt. John, how about you?
These two highlighted already really well, but society needs more scouts. I think we all agree, and we need to find the right way that we're going to approach it, our communities here in Central Texas, so that we're adding a positive part to what society needs, and that we're addressing some of those real needs.
So I guess to wrap up, we've looked backwards, we've looked a little forwards, we've talked about some challenges. I think ultimately, Kerrville, your comment probably rings the loudest here of this is a cooperative enterprise. And in order for us to be able to expand the opportunities of the program, get more youth involved, there really does need to be more people coming into the program, and in any and all levels, obviously. What would you say would be the best way for somebody, assuming there is one way, for them to come and help us begin to, if you will, actualize this idea of let's get more opportunities for youth to be in this program and to benefit from it?
To me, it starts at the unit level. When I moved to Austin 25 years ago, I just asked to volunteer at a troop. And that's where I started. And then you watch the kids grow, you watch them, and you see them develop, you see them change, you watch them get Eagle, you watch them come back after getting Eagle and tell you how much of a difference it makes. Those are the interactions. And I go back to a video that was you recently reposted of Alan Graham talking about his Philmont experience with his son. Those are life-changing experiences, and that's what we can offer parents and adults. And that's what we need to go back to that to say we have the ability to change lives.
So, Anuj, you mentioned earlier your son in the program. Folks who who might wonder, yes, I think scouting is a good thing. I might like to be able to help it. What do you say to them to encourage them to get involved and to find how it is that they can be a part of what we do?
Well, I'm going to steal from a comment Kerrville makes often when we get together with scouters and with adults, and that is, what's the goal or purpose of scouting? What are the aims of scouting? The primary aim is to teach young people to make ethical and moral choices throughout the course of their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Scout Law. That's the aim of scouting. And the question Kerrville often asks our audience when we get together and talk to folks is, do you want to do that? Or do you want other people to do that for you? Do you want someone else teaching your kid these values and how to make ethical and moral choices throughout their lifetimes, or do you want to be a part of that process? And oftentimes the answer is resoundingly, I want to be a part of that process. That's my child. And that's how I think you draw adult volunteers into our program.
John, you've been doing this for a while, and obviously, more than anybody, I think you've consistently talked about the value of folks like Kerrville and Anuj, volunteers, folks who are able to make it possible for the program to exist and for us as professional employees to support the program and grow it to ways and levels that we haven't seen before. Kind of as last word, what would be your message to folks if they're looking for a way to get involved with the program?
You know, we need more help. We, as Anuj and Kerrville have commented, this program makes a huge difference in the lives of youth. We need more volunteers that have that passion towards helping our youth reach their wildest imagination dreams and help them have a great program. We've got a place for you. Let us know where you want to help, and we've got lots of needs.
So we'd encourage you to visit our council's website at www.bsacac.org and click the contact link there at the top and let us know. And we would absolutely love to talk to you about ways that your skills, your talents, your interests can help us grow this terrific program that we call Scouting. Kerrville, Anuj, John, thank you so much. And to everybody, thanks for watching. And we hope you'll come back and listen to us talk a little bit more about our strategic plan that we've got coming up for the next several years.